First contact surprise. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the helm of the TSS Horizon, Earth's most advanced deep space exploration vessel, watching as the massive alien ship materialized from what appeared to be liquid space. The vessel's bioorganic hull pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, dwarfing the horizon by at least 4 times. After 6 months of investigating mysterious signals at the edge of explored space, they'd finally found what they were looking for, though perhaps not in the way they'd expected. Bio readings are off the charts. Dr. Marcus Rivera announced from his science station, dark eyes fixed on the streaming data. The ship appears to be partially alive, Captain. And those energy signatures, they're unlike anything in our database. Sarah maintained her composure, though her heart raced. Humanity had prepared for this moment for generations, but theory and reality were very different things. Status of our defense systems. Shields at full capacity, weapons primed but powered down. Lieutenant Kira Patel reported from Tactical. Though I'm not sure our conventional defenses would do much good against that. The alien vessel's surface rippled, and a transmission cut through their communications array with crystal clarity. The universal translators hummed to life as a deep, resonant voice filled the bridge. Pre-vessel detected. Analyzing threat level. Minimal. Initiating first contact protocols. Sarah's spine stiffened at the casual dismissal in those words. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Terran Spaceship Horizon. We represent Earth and the United Terran Colonies. We come in peace and welcome diplomatic contact. A pause followed. Then, fascinating. High Commander Zexvala of the Viridian Collective responding. Your species confounds our initial scans. You bear all biological markers of prey evolution, yet you've achieved spaceflight. This requires investigation. The bridge crew exchanged glances. Sarah kept her voice steady. I'm not sure I understand the distinction you're making. High Commander, could you elaborate? Your species evolved from prey animals. This is clear from your biology. Soft skin, blunt teeth, weak limbs, no natural weapons, yet you've built ships, developed energy weapons, created artificial gravity. This contradicts all known evolutionary patterns. Dr. Rivera leaned forward. High Commander, with respect, Earth's evolutionary history is quite complex. Our species developed intelligence and tool used precisely because we lacked natural weapons. We? Yes, Zexvala interrupted. This anomaly requires study. You will submit to detailed examination. The collective must understand how prey stock achieved technological advancement without proper predatory development. Sarah's jaw tightened. We're happy to engage in cultural and scientific exchange, High Commander. But we don't submit to anything. We're a sovereign species with our own rights and protocols for first contact situations. Another pause, longer this time. When Zexvala spoke again, there was something new in their tone. Curiosity mixed with what might have been concern. You speak as equals. This is unprecedented. Our scans indicate your vessel's defensive capabilities are minimal compared to ours. Yet you show no fear, no submission. More anomalies. Captain, Kira whispered, they're scanning us with some kind of advanced biosensor array. It's like nothing we've seen before. Sarah nodded slightly. High Commander, humanity has a long history of meeting challenges that seemed insurmountable. We've survived ice ages, pandemics, and our own destructive tendencies. We've learned that true strength isn't always about who has the biggest teeth or the strongest claws. Sometimes it's about adaptation, innovation, and working together. Your words suggest prey wisdom, yet you present as apex predators, Zexvala responded. The collective must understand this contradiction. We propose a formal assessment period, 3 of your Earth months. We will study your species, determine your true nature and potential threat level. And if we decline, that would be unwise. The collective does not permit unclassified anomalies to remain uninvestigated. This is not a request, Prey Captain. Sarah's fingers tightened on her chair's armrest. I'll need to consult with Earth Command before making any decisions about formal assessment procedures. Of course, you have 1 Earth hour. We will remain in position." The communication ended abruptly. "Well," Dr. Rivera said into the silence that followed, "that could have gone better." Sarah turned to her crew. "Kira, get me a secure line to Earth Command. Marcus, I want everything you can tell me about their ship's capabilities from our scans. And someone get me Lieutenant Commander James from Xenobiology. If these Viridians want to study us, I want to know everything we can learn about them too." As her crew scrambled to their tasks, Sarah stared at the massive alien vessel. Throughout human history, being underestimated had often proved to be an advantage. The Viridians saw humans as prey playing at being predators. They didn't understand that humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to defy expectations. "Send a message to all departments," she ordered. "Code yellow protocols. And someone get me everything we have on Earth species that turned the tables on their predators. Particularly successful prey animals that developed unexpected defensive strategies. Like honeybees," Marcus suggested, looking up from his station, "when they swarm together to cook predatory hornets." "Exactly like that." Sarah smiled grimly. "Something tells me we're going to need every trick evolution ever taught us." The massive Viridian ship loomed in their view screen, its bioluminescent patterns pulsing like a heartbeat. They had 1 hour to prepare for a decision that could change humanity's future forever. Sarah had a feeling the Viridians were about to learn why Earth's history was full of stories about predators that learned to fear their prey. The assessment. The next 3 weeks aboard the TSS Horizon felt like a twisted scientific experiment. Viridian observers stalked the corridors, their towering figures and predatory grace, making even veteran crew members nervous. But it was their constant dismissive attitude that truly tested everyone's patience. Dr. Marcus Rivera stood in his lab, explaining human medical advances to a Viridian scientist named Kexthor. The alien's 4 eyes blinked in different patterns as they examined the holographic display of human cellular regeneration techniques. "Impossible," Kexthor chittered. "Prey species do not develop medical technology of this complexity. Your healing should be focused on rapid tissue repair for escape purposes only." Marcus suppressed a sigh. "As I've explained, humans took a different evolutionary path. We couldn't just heal quickly and run away. So we learned to understand our bodies at a deeper level. Our medical technology evolved from necessity. Yet you waste resources healing the weak and injured." Kexthor's upper eyes narrowed. "This defies natural law." "No," Marcus countered. "It defines human nature. We protect our own. Every life has value, and every person can contribute in their own way. Some of our greatest innovations came from people you might consider weak." In the ship's engineering section, Lieutenant Kira Patul was facing similar frustration. She watched as Viridian engineers examined the Horizon's quantum drive systems with obvious confusion. "Your propulsion technology is inefficient," declared Senior Engineer Vexmarch. "You sacrifice power for what purpose?" Kira ran her hand along the drive's housing. "Adaptability. Our systems can be modified on the fly, allowing us to adjust to new situations. Sometimes the most efficient solution isn't the best one." "Prey thinking," Vexmar dismissed. "Power should be maximized for pursuit or escape. There is no middle ground." Meanwhile, Captain Chen was in her 10th meeting with High Commander Zexvala, trying to maintain diplomatic relations while protecting Earth's interests. The Viridian leader's massive form dominated her office, bioluminescent patterns shifting with what she'd learned to recognize as agitation. "Your species continues to confound us, Captain," Zexvala rumbled. "You show deference without submission, strength without dominance. Your ship's designs emphasize defense over offense, yet you explore deep space. You are an evolutionary contradiction." "Or perhaps," Sarah suggested, "we're evidence that your binary classification of species is too simple. Humanity's strength comes from our ability to be both predator and prey, to adapt and change based on circumstances." "Impossible." The natural order is absolute. Is it? Sarah activated a holographic display. Let me show you something from Earth's history. This is a small bird called a killdeer. The image showed a bird pretending to have a broken wing, leading a predator away from its nest. It turns weakness into strength, using deception to protect its young. And this, the image changed to show a group of buffalo forming a circle around their calves, is how prey species learn to work together, becoming stronger than any individual predator. Zexphala's patterns shifted to a deep purple. These are survival tactics, not advancement. They're both, Sarah insisted. Every defense humanity developed, every tool we created, came from this same principle, turning disadvantages into advantages. We didn't become strong by following the expected path. We became strong by finding our own way. In the ship's combat training room, Lieutenant Commander James was demonstrating human martial arts to a group of fascinated and disturbed Viridian military observers. He threw a larger opponent, using their own strength against them. Your combat techniques rely on weakness, one observer noted with distaste. They rely on wisdom, James corrected, helping his sparring partner up. Understanding that raw strength isn't everything. Sometimes the smallest lever, applied correctly, can move the largest weight. As the assessment period continued, tension aboard the ship grew. The Viridian scans became more invasive, their questions more pointed. They seemed particularly interested in Earth's defensive capabilities, though they tried to disguise this focus behind scientific curiosity. In her private log, Sarah recorded her growing concerns. They're not just studying us. They're evaluating us as a potential threat. Their worldview can't accommodate what we represent, and that makes us dangerous to them. The question is, will they decide to eliminate the threat we pose, or will they be forced to reconsider their entire understanding of evolution and development? The answer came sooner than expected. 3 days before the assessment period was scheduled to end, the Horizon's sensors detected a massive surge of quantum signatures at the edge of the solar system. Multiple Viridian vessels detected, Kira reported, her voice tense. At least 15 ships, all larger than our first contact vessel. They're running hot, Captain. Weapons charge. Sarah watched the tactical display with a grim expression. So they've made their decision. Send word to Earth Command, Implementation Protocol Omega, and get me a channel to High Commander Zexphala. Let's see if we can make them reconsider the wisdom of hunting humanity. As her crew rushed to battle stations, Sarah remembered something her grandfather had once told her about Earth's history. The most dangerous animal isn't the strongest or the fastest. It's the one that has nothing left to lose and everything to fight for. The Viridians were about to learn that lesson firsthand. Breaking point. All Viridian observers are requesting immediate return to their vessel, Lieutenant Commander James reported, his voice tight with tension. The tactical display showed 15 Viridian warships moving into attack formation at the edge of the solar system. Captain Sarah Chen nodded, unsurprised. Grant them permission. But first, ensure all their data devices are screened according to Protocol Omega. High Commander Zexphala's image appeared on the main screen, their bioluminescent patterns pulsing with what Sarah now recognized as anticipation. Captain Chen, your species has been evaluated and found to be an unacceptable anomaly. Your existence disrupts the natural order. This cannot be permitted to continue. Sarah stood, her posture relaxed despite the threat. High Commander, I urge you to reconsider. You don't understand what you're starting. We understand perfectly. Your species poses a philosophical threat to the collective. Your very existence questions the fundamental truths that maintain order in the galaxy. Your technological advancement is impressive, for prey, but you cannot stand against the natural order. The natural order. Sarah's voice carried a sharp edge. Nature isn't about rigid hierarchies, High Commander. It's about adaptation, innovation, and survival. Something humanity knows a great deal about. Your weapons are inferior. Your defenses inadequate. Your ships fewer in number. These are undeniable facts. Sarah smiled, and there was something in that expression that made Zexvala's patterns flicker uncertainly. "You've spent 3 weeks studying us, but I don't think you learned anything. You saw what you expected to see. Prey playing at being predators. You never asked why we let you observe us so closely, or why we seemed so calm in the face of your obvious military superiority." In the background, Dr. Rivera's voice called out, "Multiple quantum signatures detected. They're launching their first strike." "This is your final chance, Captain," Zexvala announced. "Submit to collective authority or face extinction." "No, High Commander. This is your final chance. Withdraw your forces or learn why Earth's history is full of extinct apex predators." The communication cut off as the first wave of Viridian weapons fire approached the horizon. But instead of impacting the ship shields, the energy weapons passed straight through what appeared to be the horizon's hull. "Holographic projection holding steady," Kira reported with satisfaction. "They're firing at our ghost." The real TSS Horizon, running in stealth mode, was already moving into position. During the 3-week assessment, while the Viridians had been studying humanity had been carefully feeding them false data about their technological capabilities. "Launch countermeasures," Sarah ordered. "Show them what they're really dealing with." Across the solar system, automated defense platforms that had been masked as debris or small asteroids came online. The Viridian fleet suddenly found itself surrounded by weapons they hadn't detected during their careful surveillance. "Their bioorganic hulls are highly sensitive to sonic disruption," Marcus reported. "Implementing frequency attack pattern Delta." The defense platforms emitted precisely calibrated sonic pulses that sent the Viridian ships' living components into spasms of confusion. Ships that had appeared seamlessly integrated began moving erratically as their organic and mechanical systems fell out of sync. "How?" Zexvala's voice crackled through the comm system. "Our scans showed no such capabilities." "You saw what we wanted you to see," Sarah replied. "While you were studying our biology, we were studying your ship's biological components. While you were analyzing our weapons, we were finding your weaknesses. That's what prey species do, High Commander. We watch, we learn, we adapt." The Horizon's true weapons came online, not the primitive energy weapons the Viridians had observed, but sophisticated systems specifically designed to target bioorganic technology. "Your species had one fundamental advantage in your evolution," Sarah continued as her ship moved into attack position. "You never had to think beyond brute force because you were always the strongest. But humanity, we had to outthink our predators because we couldn't outfight them. And now we're going to show you what several million years of evolutionary problem-solving looks like." The battle that followed would later be called the Solar Symphony by human historians, as human ships and defense platforms coordinated their sonic attacks to literally shake the Viridian fleet apart. Ships that could have easily destroyed Earth's forces in conventional combat found themselves paralyzed by weapons they'd never conceived of. Weapons designed by a species that had evolved to turn weaknesses into strengths. "Multiple Viridian ships showing critical system failures," Kira reported. "Their fleet formation is breaking down." "Captain," Marcus cut in, "I'm detecting massive energy buildups in their quantum drives. If they try to jump while their systems are this disrupted." Sarah opened a channel to the entire Viridian fleet. "High Commander, your ship's organic components are in neural shock. If you attempt quantum travel, the desynchronization between your biological and mechanical systems will tear your vessels apart. Stand down. Let us prove we can be more than just predator and prey." For long moments, the solar system hung in tense silence. Then, one by one, the Viridian ships powered down their weapons. On the main screen, Zexvala's patterns had shifted to a color Sarah had never seen before. "Perhaps," the High Commander said slowly, "the collective's understanding of the natural order requires revision." The counter-strategy. The conference room aboard the TSS Horizon had never hosted such an unusual gathering. Captain Sarachen sat across from High Commander Zexvala, while representatives from both species lined the walls. The Viridian ships hung in space, their bioorganic hulls still recovering from the sonic assault, while Earth's defense platforms maintained their vigilant watch. "Your deception was complete," Zexvala said, their patterns shifting through complex colors. "We believed we were studying you, yet you were studying us." "That's what prey species do," Dr. Marcus Rivero responded, displaying data on the room's holographic projector. "We observe, we analyze, we find weaknesses. The difference is what we do with that information." The display showed the intricate neural patterns of the Viridian's bioorganic technology. "Your ships are magnificent," Marcus continued. "The integration of biological and mechanical systems is beyond anything we've achieved. But that integration was also your weakness, because you never considered someone would turn your strength against you." "You could have destroyed our fleet," Zexvala observed. "Why didn't you?" Sarah leaned forward. "Because that's not who we are. Humanity learned long ago that survival doesn't have to mean destruction. We developed cooperation alongside competition. We learned that sometimes the strongest position isn't domination, but mutual understanding." Lieutenant Kira Petal brought up tactical displays showing the battle. "Your ships are more powerful than ours in direct combat. So we changed the rules of engagement. We used your own assumptions about us as a weapon." "The perfect trap," one of the Viridian military observers chittered. "We saw prey, so we expected prey behavior. We never considered it was a hunting strategy." "Everything about your species defies our understanding," Zexvala admitted. "Your technology emphasizes efficiency over power, yet proves more effective. Your social structures protect the weak, yet produce stronger outcomes. Your military tactics appear defensive, yet mask devastating offensive capabilities. Because we evolved understanding that today's weakness might be tomorrow's strength," Sarah explained. "On Earth, there's a creature called the octopus. Soft-bodied, no natural armor, what you'd call a prey species. Yet it's one of the most successful predators in our oceans because it adapted intelligence and problem-solving instead of relying on raw strength." The room's holographic display shifted to show Earth's evolutionary history. "Humanity's greatest strength," Marcus continued, "is our ability to learn from everything around us. We studied how ants coordinate without central control, how bees communicate through dance, how wolves hunt in packs. We took lessons from both predator and prey, because we understood that survival isn't about being the strongest, it's about being the most adaptable." "Your victory creates a problem for the collective," Zexvala said. "Our entire society is structured around the predator-prey dichotomy. If that foundation is flawed, then maybe it's time for the collective to adapt," Sarah suggested. "You've achieved amazing things with your bioorganic technology. Imagine what might be possible if you looked beyond traditional categories and started seeing strength in diversity." Lieutenant Commander James, who had been quietly observing, stepped forward. "In human martial arts, we have a saying: the oak breaks while the reed bends. Your society values strength above all, but you've defined strength too narrowly. True strength is about more than just power. It's about resilience, adaptability, and wisdom. You offer cooperation." Zexvala's patterns showed skepticism. "After we attempted to subjugate your species, we offer a new perspective," Sarah corrected. "Humanity's history is full of former enemies becoming allies once they understood each other better. We've learned that the most powerful changes often come not from winning or losing, but from learning and growing." She stood, activating a new holographic display showing potential collaborative projects between human and Viridian technology. "Your bioorganic engineering, combined with our adaptive systems approach, could revolutionize space travel. Your understanding of neural interfaces, merged with our medical technology, could transform healthcare across the galaxy. But first, you need to decide if you're ready to see beyond the categories that have defined your society." Zexvala studied the display, their four eyes focusing and refocusing as they processed the implications. "The collective has existed for 10,000 years, unchanged in its fundamental beliefs. You ask us to reconsider everything we think we know about the natural order. Nature doesn't stand still, Marcus pointed out. It constantly evolves, adapts, finds new ways to solve old problems. Maybe it's time for the collective to evolve too. Around the room, human and Viridian representatives watched each other with new understanding. The battle had proven humanity's strength, but it was this moment, this chance to turn conflict into cooperation, that truly demonstrated why humans had survived and thrived against the odds for so long. Perhaps, Zexvala said finally, their pattern settling into a new, steady rhythm. It is time for the hunters to learn from the hunted. Evolution's joke. 1 year after the Solar Symphony, the TSS Horizon docked at the newly constructed Harmony Station, a massive joint venture between humanity and the Viridian Collective. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck, watching as bioorganic and human ships moved together through space in an intricate dance of cooperation. Still hard to believe sometimes, isn't it? Dr. Marcus Rivera joined her at the window. A year ago, they wanted to exterminate us. Now we're building the future together. The Viridians just needed to learn what humanity figured out long ago, Sarah replied. That evolution's greatest joke is how it rewards the unexpected. The station itself was a testament to this philosophy. Human adaptive technology merged seamlessly with Viridian bioorganic engineering, creating something entirely new. Research labs hummed with activity as scientists from both species worked to unlock new possibilities in medicine, space travel, and defensive systems. Lieutenant Kira Patel's voice came over the comm. Captain, the collective delegation has arrived for the symposium. In the station's Grand Assembly Hall, representatives from across known space gathered to hear High Commander Zexvala address the first Galactic Evolution Summit. Their bioluminescent patterns now displayed colors that had no historical precedent in Viridian culture, new patterns for new ideas. For 10,000 years, Zexvala began, the collective understood the galaxy through the lens of predator and prey. We believed this was the natural order, immutable and eternal. We were wrong. Holoprojectors displayed scenes from the past year's joint missions and research projects. Humanity taught us that evolution's true gift is not strength or speed or natural weapons. It is adaptability. The ability to change, to learn, to become more than what we were born to be. Dr. Rivera stepped forward to present their latest joint research. By combining Viridian bioorganic technology with human adaptive systems, we've created ships that can heal themselves while learning from every encounter. Medical treatments that adapt to individual patients. Defense systems that evolve faster than any threat. But more importantly, Sarah added, taking her place at the podium, we've learned from each other. Humans have gained insights into biological integration that would have taken us centuries to develop alone. The collective has discovered new ways of thinking that have revolutionized their society. The display showed footage from across collective space, predator species working alongside those they once considered prey, sharing knowledge and resources instead of competing for dominance. The old joke about humans, Sarah continued, was that we were prey species who refused to accept our place in the natural order. But the real joke was thinking that nature has a fixed order at all. Evolution doesn't care about categories or hierarchies. It rewards whatever works. Lieutenant Commander James, now serving as Chief of Joint Military Training, demonstrated the new combat techniques that merged Viridian strength with human strategy. We've created something entirely new, he explained. Not predator, not prey, but adaptable. Always learning, always evolving. There are still those who resist these changes, Zexvala acknowledged. Some in the collective cling to old beliefs about natural order and proper place, but they face the same choice we faced: adapt or be left behind. The assembly hall's displays shifted to show the frontier of known space, where joint exploration teams were pushing into the unknown. Human ingenuity combined with Viridian technology had opened up possibilities that neither species could have achieved alone. A year ago, Sarah addressed the gathered delegates, We showed the collective that their understanding of strength was too narrow. Today, we're showing the galaxy that the future belongs not to the strongest or the fastest, but to those willing to learn and change. She gestured to the station around them. Harmony Station isn't just a symbol of cooperation between former enemies. It's proof that evolution's greatest achievements come not from competition alone, but from finding new ways to work together. The station's bioorganic components pulsed in harmony with its mechanical systems, a living metaphor for the changes sweeping through known space. Predator and prey species mingled freely in its corridors, sharing knowledge and resources in ways that would have been unthinkable a year ago. The true joke, Marcus mused later, as they watched the delegates disperse, is that it took a prey species to teach the galaxy's greatest predators how to evolve. Sarah smiled, remembering that first tense encounter with the Viridian ship. Maybe that's because we never stopped evolving. We never got comfortable being the strongest or the fastest, so we had to keep finding new ways to survive and thrive. As if to emphasize her point, a group of young Viridian scientists passed by, their patterns showing the new colors that had emerged in their species, colors that represented curiosity, cooperation, and hope for the future. The galaxy was changing, evolving into something new. And humanity, the species that had never quite fit into the old categories, was helping to guide that evolution, not through force or dominance, but through the same adaptability that had helped them survive countless challenges on their own world.